Okay, everybody, this is Marcel Pute, the Sports Inquirer, and we're joined by Michelle Collier, the head coach of Georgia Tech volleyball. Michelle, a lot going on this past weekend. We'll go over each of the matches individually, but we're saying off camera, you just have a very positive spin on these matches and contests after wins and losses. Is that something you try to translate to your team to you look beyond the wins and losses sometimes and just try to get better as a unit?
For sure, yeah. I mean, wins and losses are part of the journey, so we have to just try to learn from it, identify the red flags, talk about them, help them see it, help them identify some of the things that we need to keep getting better. Obviously, everything is easier said than done, so it's part of the experience is just to recognize some things, make them better, keep working on them, and then just keep moving forward. So.
Watched that Notre Dame match. You were leading two sets to none. Had a tie in the third set. They were able to win the third set. And then even in the fifth set, it was 14-14 in the fifth. I mean, that was a very closely contested matchup. What do you take away from that contest and to build on and try to get better at?
Yeah, I mean, we knew Notre Dame was a great team. We knew that if they were playing their best, they have a talented group of players, and they were going to be a challenge for us. I felt like we played two good sets, and then we took our foot off the gas a little bit. And I think that they gained some momentum, and it started to play with a lot of confidence. And obviously, being a good team, when they do that, then that presented a bigger challenge for us. And we just couldn't really kind of take control of the match again until later in that fifth game when we got ourselves back in there with an opportunity, but it was maybe a little too late to close it. I was proud of the fight, and just kind of a lesson learned at this level. You don't waste points, you don't waste opportunities, you don't give your opponent anything that they don't really earn it. Very very hard. And so I think that those are the things that we got to continue to get better at. It's really take control of those things and really understand when we do have momentum, how to put teams away. And that great teams will, we don't have any room for little mistakes or breakdowns every now and then because, just like that, the match can get away from your hands. And I think that that's what happened on Friday. But just proud of how we finished playing the match, how we were able to rebound there, and get better. So that's all we can ask for.
Yep, and then you face Louisville on October 3rd. You dropped that match 3 sets to none. But that first set, then you were 25-15, you lost that one. But that second set, and just talking to people, very competitive. You had 10 deadlocks in that set. You held the lead, they held the lead. You end up losing that set 36-34. But what about that set? And what can you carry over from that, just staying in that set and being competitive throughout?
Yeah, just again, reassurance that we can play with anybody in the country. I think that when we're playing well, we can be as competitive as anyone. Um, but that great teams you don't give them chances, and I think that that was another thing was that we had our chances there to close that set, and we just didn't execute exactly the same way that we wanted to execute. And obviously, Louisville earned a lot of their points too. They're a team that just fights, and there's no points that are just over. So they just found a way to keep fighting, and that's why they are what they are. And I think we can learn a lot from them, and also understand that we're on the right track. I think that we can be as competitive as anybody in the country, but we got to be able to execute over and over again and really capitalize on opportunities and situations that, we put ourselves in great positions, but we just couldn't close. And so that's where we just have to get better.
Yeah, and in the third set, you went down 25-22. So I think out of all the sets that you played, all 8 sets outside of that 25-15 loss in the first set against Louisville, all those sets were within 4 or 5 points.
Mhm.
Uh, what does that say about the team just handling these close matches? You won some of the sets, you dropped some of them.
Yeah.
You're putting yourselves in very these are very intense situations. Do you think that you can take these matches and carry them over for the rest of ACC play?
For sure. I mean, I think there's still a lot that our team can learn and get better and grow. And I think that these matches showed us, we want to be competing with the top teams in our conference, right? And right now, the top teams in our conference are number 2 and number 3 in the country, so we want to be competing with these teams. We want to have chances to win those matches. And I felt like we had those opportunities, this weekend against Louisville, to put ourselves in a bad position to get closer, to put a little more pressure on them. And we just, we couldn't execute that one extra point that we needed. So we just got to keep getting better. But there is a lot of really good things. I was proud of how we were able to bounce from game one, and really be able to play equally with them throughout the rest of the match. So that's definitely something. I obviously moral victories are never fun, but I think that they're reassuring. They're reassuring that we're doing some good things, that we really have some high aspirations here, and we're not too far from being just one of the best teams in the country. So I think that we got to continue to stay at it, continue to get better. Got a great group of kids, great staff, and there's a lot of really good things going on here that we're very proud of, and we're just going to keep working.
Yeah, you're still nationally ranked. Your RPI, you're still in the top 20 in that range as we speak now. Remember 2 years ago speaking with you, you started looking at the rankings and the RPIs for national aspirations, which you've achieved as far as making NCAAs.
Mhm.
Are you starting to look at that now and starting to kind of check where the other teams rank and see where you're listed, or do you not even look at that until maybe later on in the year?
No, I mean, obviously, it's right now it's pretty much halfway through our season, so I think that we did do a great job of putting. I think our RPI was 12
Mhm.
uh, when it came out, so we've done a great job. So now our job is to protect it. We're really um, we worked really, really hard to put ourselves in this position, and so every match now it's continues to be more and more important for us because we really want to protect that spot and be able to be in a good spot at the end of November. So
And you have a nationally ranked matchup against mentioned Pitt. That's on October 10th. But before you face them, you go to Charlottesville and face Virginia. Another team with a lot of size. They're top 3 in blocks in the ACC. They have Grace Turner, second in aces. Alana Walker leads the entire conference in total blocks. What about facing the Cavaliers, a team that is very strong defensively and serves well also?
yeah, no, a team that they've been doing really good, very different than the team from a year ago. New coaching staff, great coaches, and they're really able to put some good positive energy into the program. I feel like they're playing well. They're playing aggressive. They're being physical. And Virginia is not an easy place to play. They got a fun little environment there. And road matches are always a challenge. So we know that it's a team that's got some good momentum coming um, into their program. They're going to keep fighting for ACC wins, and I think that they're doing a much better job than what they were at this point last year. So we're expecting a great team on the other side, very well coached. That it's going to give us a big challenge on Friday.
I was watching a Louisville matchup, and I just noticed the size and athleticism of their outsides and their middles. And Virginia, obviously, they have a strong middle unit as well. Is that seeing playing these matches against Virginia, and you played some other ones in non-conference? Has that prepared you to face these teams that have athletic middles that are very active on the block that your middles and outsides are going to have to face?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that at this level, the game is very physical. Um, and players are just athletic, physical, they're fast, they're strong. Um, so it's always a challenge, but I think that we also have these players on our side of the net, so it's always fun to see how they're just going to go at each other and compete. And I think that the ACC has done a great job in preseason of really putting ourselves in great position with our RPIs, and every team coming in stronger than any other year I've been here. Um, So we really just have to take advantage and be proud of what we're building as a conference and get out there and compete and show good volleyball and be physical and play the game the way that it needs to be played at this level. You know, you have to be aggressive, you have to be physical, you got to play with a lot of intent and purpose. Um, and I know that Virginia is going to give us their best shot at their home court, so we're ready for it.
All right, Michelle, thank you for your time. We appreciate it, and safe travels to Virginia.
Thank you. No problem.